We've all heard the word agile, and some of you have been for various training sessions on agile. Some of you are actually in agile teams. But there's one thing that some of you have reached out to me and said, Phil, I'm a PMP, but this is missing from my repertoire. And it is going through an agile endeavor from start. And when I say start, I'm not talking about the backlog. I'm talking about from the point of vision all the way through the product roadmap, through the emergence of the idea of the massive epics at that level. Maybe at the beginning, they're not even epics, they're just ideas. So, how do we go from an executive decision to a delivery? And when I say a delivery, I'm talking about an incremental delivery. This is why in our next 360 PM conference, as you folks said you wanted in our last conference, our focus is going to be on Agile. And I'm joined by my buddy, Roy Schilling, who is my Agile coach, who is my co-author. We've written quite a few books together. We wrote this book called Agile Principle Run and Cut. You can find this on Amazon. And this is a really great book. What we're going to do is take the contents of the book, what we put in this book, and we're going to pragmatize it. In fact, I call this seminar Practic Agile. Practical Agile. Practic Agile. So we're going to be taking what we have in that book. My buddy Roy and I also wrote this enormous one called a PMP Exam Immersion. And we have a lot of Agile here. In fact, we have 35 tasks from the PMI. We took those tasks and we began breaking them down from an agile, purely agile perspective. So we're going to be bringing you some of the greatness from that book. And my buddy Roy and I had a conference last year, and it's called Scrum Mastery. This book is also available everywhere books are sold. But what we are doing in this conference is pretty remarkable. We're taking our body of work, our understanding of Agile right from the beginning. When an executive comes up with an idea, a need, a business idea, how does that idea go through the metamorphosis of being an idea in a head to being a vision, maybe on a whiteboard or a piece of paper? How does that translate into the beginnings of a roadmap? How does that get translated into a product backlog? And how does that unfold and how is it managed? And getting more into the world of Scrum, which I know some of you are already in. What are the underworkings of Scrum? I know some of you are just like developers or you're a Scrum Master, but the inner workings of Scrum that happen at a higher level in the organization, you may never have seen those. Maybe you don't know how a product roadmap is put together. Maybe you don't even know what a story map is. We are covering all of these points, and I need you to sign up for the very next PM 360 conference, which is an Agile 360 dive. We're going so deep. You got no idea how happy I am that we're doing this for you guys, because a lot of people study Agile. But when you ask them what is Agile, you get some pretty scary responses. Some people think it's a framework. Some people tell you, well, it's a methodology. You ask people, what is the difference between Agile and Scrum? And some people say they're one and the same. Oh my gosh. Do you see why we need to do this? I'm getting off my soapbox before I say something that offends people. I think I might have already, because I know some of you think Agile is a framework. Now, this is going to offend more people. Hey, let me get the offense meter out, because I got to measure how many people are going to be offended by this one, especially the zealots. So the idea is, what is Agile? Last year, I wrote a book because the question about what is Agile was becoming quite consistent. There was that drumbeat of what is Agile in all of my classes. So I said, you know what? We're going to resolve this once and for all. What agility is is the ability to pivot to the ever-changing world around you. That's what agility is, right? So there's a difference between agile versus agility. Okay. In order to be agile, you should embody a mindset of agility. But it's no good to think agile and not act agile, right? Both. So when people come to me and say, what is agile? I tell them, agile is primarily a mindset. Yeah, you're waiting for something else that translates into agile behaviors. Mindset, when upheld through principles and values of the Agile Manifesto, becomes behavior. Actions, A, behavior, B, culture, C. We want agile to be a culture. We don't want it to just be a set of things you think about. We want that thinking to permeate into practices that are agile, behaviors that are agile. What does a good book say? As a man thinketh, so is he. If you're thinking agile, you will, in the end, begin to embody those behaviors. And you are true to yourself, right? If you are true to yourself, you will find yourself being agile on autopilot. In fact, you get checks. Hey, that wasn't agile, buddy. You get what I'm saying? So sign up for this seminar. We're going to blow the lid off this thing. Everything that you've been thinking about, oh, how does this come into being? Why is backlog refinement looked down on? Why is story pointing looked down on? We have a lot to say, a lot to show you. So go to that link below. Those of you who are PMPs in the making, you need to be in that seminar. Those of you who are already PMPs, you need to be in that seminar. Those of you that got certified in the late 90s, I know you're saying, Phil, I'm out of the game. No, you need to be in that seminar. And those of you who have been involved in any type of agile, the good and the not so good agile, names withheld, you need to be in that seminar. We're going to be talking about other controversial topics like scaling. Oh, scaling. You don't want to know what we have to say about scaling if you are in that unsafe environment. You see what I did there? Unsafe environments. I got to get off my soapbox. I need to take my meds and I need to calm down because I'm getting way too excited about what we've got in store for you. So go to the links and I'll see you in the program with my buddy Roy. Again, 360.pmradio.org. See you there.